everyone, to the third episode of Hope Makes It Happen Financial Friday Tips. My name is Alex D. Williams, and I'm one of your hosts for this great show that our partner, Hope Credit Union, has done to also bring financial tips, increase awareness, and provide resources to the HBCU campuses and communities. And every month, we've had an exceptional guest, a representative from Hope, and today is no different. I am very excited to have Ms. Felicia Lyles join us from Hope Credit Union. How are you doing today?
I am doing wonderful. How are you, Alex?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to have you on. I know we've had a chance to chat beforehand and get to know each other, so I'm really excited about this episode in particular. But as I mentioned, you are with Hope Credit Union, so I want to ask you just about what do you do with Hope, and what about Hope Credit Union as well as has been a part of your journey, your career thus far?
Okay, well, I am the Senior Vice President of Retail Operations. I've been with Hope for 17 years and in the financial industry for 27 years, although I don't look like it. But I have the opportunity to oversee all of our 23 branch locations across our 5 states. And I'll just remind everybody Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee, Louisiana, and Alabama. So I have the opportunity to oversee our branch locations as well as overseeing our consumer lending area. So that's the team that underwrites and manage our loan portfolios when loans are submitted. And so when I first came to Hope 17 years ago, I came as a branch manager. And then I'll just start off. When I got graduated from college, I started off as a teller. And so I've worked literally every position within the retail branch. So from a teller, from a financial service representative, assistant manager, branch manager, regional over regions, and now being able to oversee all of the branches across 5 states has been pretty amazing for me.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So when someone's coming to you, they know they're getting the best of the best with all of the knowledge and all of the experience at Hope.
Exactly.
Well, if you don't mind telling us a little bit more about Hope Credit Union as well. I know throughout these episodes we've had some guests and other representatives join us, but what about Hope for you as you kind of joined and been with them for 17 years? Wow, that's amazing.
Yes. And so Hope is a community development financial institution. I'm proud to say that this year we will be celebrating 30 years of Hope and impacting the communities that we serve. And prior to coming to Hope, I worked at another financial institution, a banking financial institution, for 8 years. And so I just will tell you just the difference. I can't see myself not being in banking, but being at Hope is something special because it's one thing to offer products and services, but really having resources to really help people climb the economic ladder and being able to contribute and give back to the community, being able to do financial Fridays,
Yeah.
Regardless of people, their race, their gender, their wealth. And so Hope has just been amazing to me. And I can't imagine being anywhere else.
Yeah, and you mentioned, there are some special things about Hopes that are different than other banking and financial institutions. What are some of those special things that people may not know about at Hope Credit Union?
Well, when you think about, oftentimes when people think about credit unions, they're not even familiar with it. It's like, what is that? Is that a loan company? But
Right.
it's the same as a bank when it comes to financial products and services. We provide your savings accounts, your checking accounts, your money market, anything else that a bank offers. Your funds are federally insured as they are with the bank. But one thing that Hope and other credit unions, the difference, we're not for profit, which means we put people ahead of profit, which means that allows us to have lower rates on our loans, but it also gives us an opportunity to pay higher returns on your deposits. Like we have a free checking account that pays 3% interest. And so you're not able to get that everywhere. And then also with Hope, you're a member. You're not just a customer. You're a member owner. You have a vote. In March, we'll have a member meeting. So we'll have invite members to come out across our footprint and they are able to be a voice and speak. And I know when I first started Hope, we had a member meeting and one of our branches here locally in Jackson, where I'm located, we had a branch that was open part-time and they said, well, hey, we would love to see this branch open full-time. Well, we made the change because that member said that. So it is pretty special, being able to just put members first and Hope, we're mission based, we're mission driven. So really, wanting to focus on the underserved and in some cases not being served at all.
Right.
You have banks, underbanked, and so really just want to be a resource for the community from every aspect, from first time home buyer. I know we've had, our mortgage team that's been on the call, and then the first meeting with our financial inclusion officer. So really just being connected with the community. It doesn't matter where you work, where you live. Anyone can be a part of the credit union.
Yeah, I think that's really awesome too that you mentioned that, not just a customer, you are a member, part of the family, and having a say or having a vote as well. It makes it very inclusive. So I think that's really great. And just to ask you about the similarities and differences as well between like a bank and a credit union. I know you mentioned some of them, but for people that aren't familiar, what are some others in terms of a credit union and how it kind of differs or is similar to a bank?
Well, sometimes when you go into a banking institution, everyone can't have an account because let's say, we know that life happens. I know we'll see some stories, and you've played some of our stories, and where things have happened in our members' lives that, maybe you got a divorce, or,
Right.
you lost your job. And so you maybe weren't able to manage your account. So that account closed where you owe another institution money. Well, when that happens, most financial institutions will not allow you to have an account or relationship. But Hope, we really pride ourselves in meeting people where they are in their financial situation, and that's not something that you necessarily get at a bank. Also, when you apply for a loan, um, I worked at a bank, so I can tell you, we pull your credit if it's not a certain score. It's either yes or no. And at Hope, that's not the case. We're going to walk you through the process, and not saying that we can do a loan for everybody to walk in the door, but it's not a no, it's not right now. And let
Mhm.
us help you, provide you with the resources, walk you through the steps to get you to that. What is it that we can offer for you? It may be a credit building loan to start your credit, establish your credit, reestablish your credit, and then we get you to that automobile loan, that mortgage loan. And I could, think about many, many stories that we've had and examples of that to get people even out of predatory lending. The thing about the markets, that the communities that we're in, is swamped with predatory lenders
Right.
because it's easy, it's quick, it's fast, but we know that that's not the best solution. When I think about banking, just how it has transitioned over the many, many years, bank looks like a card. I could probably ask you, when is the last time you've been into a bank? I don't know the last time I've been in a bank. And I work at the credit union. So, and even going into our offices because we have the cards, and so many
Mhm.
individuals, their bank is a cash out card.
Yeah.
Their financial banking is a Venmo, Zelle. And so
Mhm.
really think about, okay, when it's time for you to purchase a car, you don't have a banking relationship. When you're ready to purchase that home, you don't have a banking relationship, and that's so critical and important to have someone that you can come physically talk to help you through that process. If all you have is a plastic card and that card doesn't work, you're on the phone on a 1-800 number trying to call someone in a different state.
Right.
They may not even be able to help you. And so credit unions and Hope, our goal is that we try to meet everybody where they are. We want to be everybody's financial institution, regardless where they are in their financial journey. So, that person that may not have another option, but also that individual that can bank anywhere, we have the best products and services to meet them there and guide them through their journey.
Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome. I'm so glad you mentioned, buying a home and buying a car because I know it's the new year, it's 2024. And like myself, so many other people did vision boards of wanting houses and cars in particular of things that they wanted for this year, but not really sure where to start, in terms of their finances and getting that in order. So I wanted to ask you, with your years of experience, how would you recommend people that are starting to create, different financial environments for themselves? And especially if they haven't been too familiar with going into banks or familiar with talking to people at banks as well.
Well, first of all, not knowing that Hope is a resource, but having a goal and really setting a plan, having a plan, creating a budget, everything all ties together. I know we talk about credit, we talk about savings, but it really, everything does tie together. You have to have, if you got a goal, setting a budget, sticking to that budget,
Mhm.
start saving, and then thinking about what can you make adjustments. I remember, we have people come in when I was in the branch talking about, hey, I'm trying to get out of debt. You know, living paycheck to paycheck. And I remember I had a couple and they were sitting there. One person had one of the, like 12 ounces or 6 ounces Dr. Pepper, the other one had a Mountain Dew. And I just looked at them like, okay, well, let's start right there. You get into the Starbucks, you get into all
Mhm.
those things, but when you really reflect and think, if I'm spending $5 every day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks out of a month, out of a year, really how much have you spent and what can you save? So not saying I don't splurge every once in a while, but you can buy a Starbucks coffee and grow in the grocery store and you can make it at home. I can put any type of creamer I want. And the cost savings that gives me, it really is significant. Saving your change,
Yeah.
I know a lot of us don't have cash. We use the cards, but if you do have cash, when you get that change, I do that still now. I've done that for probably the last 20 years of taking my change and putting it up. I never
Mhm.
spend change. As we talk about having banking relationships, not being scared to come into a financial institution, but also make sure you're researching. You do your research, evaluate and make sure that that financial institution really does have the best product, not just go in. It's almost like when people go buy a car and they say, I want to buy a car and I want my car note to be $350. Or and that's not even realistic anymore.
Yeah.
But they go in with a price. So the dealership, they may be charging you 18% interest on whatever it is that you're getting because you've said to them, this is what I want my payment to be. And so we got to get out of that mindset and really do evaluate the products and services that we're getting to see really what type of rate am I paying, what type of interest am I earning on my money because it is your money. So,
Mhm.
and making sure too that if you have a savings account or a checking account with the institution, but you're not able to go get a loan for that institution, you need to really step back and think about, okay, is this really the best institution for me? But
Right.
evaluating, your finances. How are you managing your money? Looking at your bank statements,
Mhm.
making sure that you're avoiding high costs. We talked about the predatory lenders. Managing your credit because we also know your credit that impacts what you do pay when you do get a loan. And that also impacts your financial budget throughout the year as well. So, main thing, have a plan and sticking to that plan.
Right, and sticking to it. I know sometimes we do want to splurge, but like you said, that Starbucks order definitely it adds up. If you look at it, you're like, wow, I really spend this amount every single for this month when I could do it for free at home.
And take advantage of free resources. There's so many, like we partner with Green Path, and they provide one-on-one financial education, financial counseling for people for their specific situations. Because things, the reality is, we're gonna spend money on things that we want to. We should. I do feel like if you have a good budget, there should be that miscellaneous bucket. If you're in a position to do that, because so you can take advantage of Starbucks or whatever that thing is that you may enjoy. But taking advantage of free resources, I know like our online banking, it has an app that it has a resource that helps you kind of track what your finances are. Taking advantage of like Green Path Financial, that's something that we offer regardless if you're a member or not, to help individuals get on track, stay on track, and then even start planning for like home ownership and even student loans. Is never, even students in college, they don't think about cell phones. I just bought my child a cell phone for Christmas, and I'm like,
Mhm.
oh my goodness. So just even thinking about those things, that really is that giving the best deal. I know that the cell phones, you have the different, every time there's a new one, you see the marketing, but even with cell phones, you can really evaluate whoever your current um, carrier is.
Mhm.
Really, are you really getting the best for your book? You know, Even though most students may not even be paying their cell phone bills, their parents are paying it. But are you getting? But think about it when you're not. Really read the details of, is that the best value, or would it be more valuable for me to pay $100 or $200 and I'm paying less each month for 36 months? So those are just things. Even as students, if they're getting student refunds, it's never too early to start really thinking about how can you save with your student refund. Now it's tax time. Tax. Everybody's thinking about, oh, I can't wait to get my tax return. What am I going to do with it? So really thinking about what's the best way to maximize those resources anytime you have resources, regardless if you're a student, or you're my age and have a mortgage and you have a car note. Just always evaluating what's best for you, and not just I want this right
Right.
now.
Right. Right. But thank you so much for sharing that information. I feel like that's definitely helpful as someone, like I said, you start off this new year with so many goals, but you need to know kind of the best way to navigate them and what works best for you as well to get the most bang out of your buck, as you mentioned. And I'm so glad you mentioned students because we are going to take a quick break. But when we come back, we're going to talk about the internship program that Hope currently has and how that's really helped you, as well as their student in Jackson. So we will be back for a short commercial, but make sure to stay tuned.
When I initially started with Hope, my credit was horrible. I couldn't, I couldn't borrow anything. I couldn't do anything. I knew that as a parent, especially a male parent raising a male child, the environment that I was in, I really I wanted him to have a better life. I wanted him to have a chance in life. The word hope just made me decide to come down and see what they had to offer. We sat down and we talked. I told him my goals. I told him that I wanted to own a home. I told him that I need to rebuild my credit. I told him about my son, and the embrace was genuine. And we set up some things. He said, well, if you pay off this and this, then you can do that. And if you pay off this and this, you can do that. So, me being the person that I am, I paid it off a little faster. In the past, I did bank with other institutions, but for whatever the reason, I really felt welcome with Hope. I felt like this is where I belong. And I guess it's because of the attitude, or the it's just some great people that works with this institution. I think it's a little beyond just finances. It's more of a personal interest. Hope has impacted my lifestyle tremendously. It's just created financial freedom. Thanks to Hope, not only did I end up not walking anymore, I ended up with a really nice vehicle, and I ended up not living in the metro area of Jackson anymore. I'm now in a very great location that's conducive to raising a small child. I've recommended quite a few people to Hope Credit Union. My brother being one, he actually has an account, which I started. Just all in all, a great financial institution. If you just so happen to be a person in a financial situation, or just so happen to be going through some financial issues, try Hope. They make it happen.
Welcome back, everyone, to Hope Makes It Happen Financial Friday Tips. My name is Alex D. Williams, and I'm with the Gulf Coast Athletic Conference, but I'm really excited with this partnership with Hope Credit Union to have one of their representatives, Ms. Felicia Lyles, join us for this third episode. And I hope that you all have been enjoying it and taking some notes as well, because she's been giving out some really knowledgeable information. And as we continue with this episode, and I talked a little bit about it before the commercial, but there is an internship program that Hope has currently doing, and there's an intern specifically in Jackson. So I wanted to ask you, Felicia, just about that internship program, the cohort, and what that internship relationship has been like for you in Jackson currently.
Yes. So we kicked off a HBCU internship program in August for this school year. So really was excited about being able to do that. And we actually have interns actually, in, I think in all five of our states at one of the HBCUs. And so that's really been great to have them as little Hope ambassadors. We took them through our retail training just like we would our new employees because technically they're interns, but we consider them they're part of the Hope team. But giving them that experience is actually a benefit for Hope, but it's the key is being able to give the value to them to have that exposure to a financial institution because when we think about our HBCU communities, um, really the students just having that opportunity to understand what the financial industry means that's going to help them personally, but also not just what they see when they walk into a branch or in a credit union or a bank. You see the tellers, you see the people at the desk, but really thinking about what all the opportunities are. And that's from our marketing, you got human resources, accounting, our fiscal area. So there's really so much more to the financial industry than just the faces that you see when you walk into the branch. So having them have that chance to have that exposure, but it also has been a benefit for us because we have our ambassadors that are able to be on the campus. After they learn about Hope, our products and our services, we teach them financial education so that they can physically be on those campuses and they're able to provide those resources to their fellow friends and the students on campus as well as the faculty and staff. My first experience actually working with students at Hope, we have a student run credit union, the only one here in Jackson at one of the local high schools, Provine, part of our Jackson um, school system here. And so we this year I think we have six students that work with us, but and we've had that program for I think 7 years. And I just remember the first group of students that we have, and this just shows the impact of these partnerships through the interns, through the student ran credit union. We had a student, she was in the ninth grade actually when she first started part kind of the running, helping run the credit union in the school. And when she got ready to go graduated to go to Mississippi State, we were able to give her a loan because she didn't have the resources at the time. So just something as simple as buying a laptop to go to college. And we were able to open that to give her that loan because she established an account with us as a ninth grader, still has her account with us today. But it's just so important that that students get this exposure now, and the feedback that we've gotten from the students, just them having a better understanding of managing their finances, because not only is it impacting them, it's impacting their families because they're going to be able to go back and talk to their parents, their brothers and sisters, their cousins, their grandparents, and let them know about the resources that they have with the credit union, but also as an opportunity to get hands-on experience as well. So what we hope is that at some point they transition into full-time and Hope employees once they graduate from college.
Yeah, no, that sounds amazing. I know, I think about it. In high school and in college, I wish that was something that they kind of shared more with us about financial literacy. So once you did graduate, what that was. So the fact that you are able to provide this to students and they can pass this on to other people is a really great opportunity. And I hope people that are listening take advantage of this and learn about it more as well. But as a college student, one thing you are looking forward to is buying a car at some point. And so I wanted to ask you, are there any special promotions that Hope is currently doing, for the car loans in particular?
Yeah, so for any student that's ready to purchase a car, let your parents know to come see me. But we do like we consistently run different promotions throughout the year because for one thing is to attract people to say, hey, we got resources out here. And then right now, I'm not sure, I know some people are aware that just the current rate environment right now, interest rates are extremely high. Um, you know, 3 years ago, you could probably get an interest rate 1.99 for a vehicle. If you go to the dealership now, you're not going to be able to get that. It's going to be more of a 5.99 just because of the current rate environment. So one thing what I talked about earlier around hope and being a mission-based credit union and trying to meet people where they are and being able to, because we're not for profit, being able to give lower rates on our loans to meet the needs. We actually have an auto promotion right now. You can get as low as 4.99% on an auto loan. So we definitely want people to take advantage of that. Even a benefit of just being a member. One thing that we do for our members every year, if you have an account with Hope, you manage your account well. Every holiday during the holiday season, we send them a letter in October, November saying, "Hey, you're pre-approved for $1,000." All you got to do is bring that letter in saying that you were pre-approved. Show that you have a source of repayment, and we give them $100. I mean, $1,000. We don't pull credit. We don't do anything. And when I talked about in the beginning how important it is to have a banking relationship and having a relationship with the institution like Hope, because everybody's not going to offer that type of program. And so that's something that we do as a promotion each year. And like the auto loan, we're running that through the end of January. But throughout the year, there'll be additional promotions that we may run around home equity loans. We never know. We looking at maybe doing spring forward promotion. So, but to know when we do have those promotions, and if you want to learn more about Hope, you want to join today, you actually can visit our website at hopecu.org. It's very easy to navigate. Get more information if you would like. It has contact information if you want to reach out to myself or anyone else with Hope. You can join online. You also can apply for a loan online. And then you can always check us out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of those things. So
Yeah, I was going to ask you, how can people learn more? But you said it all, and hopefully they will take advantage of this promotion, as you said, as it does end at the end of January, correct? For the
yes.
credit.
Yes, and if there's anybody, because I know oftentimes when it presented, I know I said it earlier, but I do want to reiterate, it does not matter, where you work, where you live. It doesn't even matter if you know that you've had a bad. You may say, I can't open an account with an institution, a bank or credit union, because I've had a past issue. That's okay. We still want to meet you where you are. We want to be everyone's financial institution. And so the thing about it is you can come to Hope. I think we stand on our tagline, brighter futures begin with hope. So please come and see us.
Yeah. Well, we hope you all enjoyed this third episode of Hope Makes It Happen Financial Fridays and our wonderful guest as well, Miss Felicia Lyles, who is representative from Hope Credit Union. Thank you so much for joining me for today.
Thank you, Alex, for inviting me. I have really, really enjoyed it. Thank
Me too. Me too. Well, make sure to not only check out this episode, but any of the episodes you've missed as well on the Hope Digital platforms or on HBCU plus the GCAC network. This show does come out every third Friday of the month, and they have so many wonderful guests that have joined us, like Miss Felicia. So you definitely want to stay tuned and learn more about these tips that can help you and increase your financial awareness as well. But once again, my name is Alex D. Williams, and we will be back next month with another Hope Makes It Happen Financial Friday Tips episode, and we hope you all have a great day.
In 2008, the stock market crashed, and I just found myself like, what am I going to do? And so for a while, it was just really, really hard. And I had a friend that lived in Memphis, and she said, you should move to Memphis. At that time, Memphis represented hope. I started working in the insurance industry. My checks and everything was being deposited in Illinois. And so I would go to Hope to be able to cash my checks. And so what happened is that they eventually said, well, why don't you just get an account with us? They made me feel like, hey, you're one of us now. You don't need to be cashing your checks, from Illinois. Put your money here at Hope. They just asked me different questions. What do you want to do? And they said, well, do you want your own home? I said, well, yes. They worked with me in terms of different first-time home buyer money that's available. And next thing I know, I was there filling out the paperwork, and the process truly was less than a year with me going through the workshops. It's a rewarding feeling when you're able to hold up a sign that says sold, and then hold up keys and say, oh my God, this is really mine. And I walk in this door every day thanking God that I have this home, and I thank God that He has put Hope Credit Union in my path. Hope gave me the freedom of being a home buyer, Hope gave me freedom to know that when things go wrong, they're still there for me. They're just a phone call away.
Hope Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.